So, looking down on the grid, it's the Maserati on pole position, the #1 car of Bertolini and Bartels, Cox and Haas in the Lamborghini next door, then the Nissan of Krum and Dunbreck, the Corvette of Hazemans and Marson. Then it's the Nissan of Hughes and Campbell-Walter, then the Lamborghini of Bouchou and Basseng, another Lamborghini of Schwager and Pastorelli, the Maserati of Hager and Margaritis, then the Maserati of Bernoldi and Ramos, Vicini and Henrici's Corvette is next, then Bobby and Longin's Maserati, Zonta and Daniel's car next door to that. There are the two Fords, Olivier Panis making his debut in the FIA GT Championship. Further back though, Aston Martin's really struggling. Apart from the #8 car, all the others were outside the top 16 in qualifying. Some work to be done, and Carl Wendlinger quite a long way down the grid as well as we get towards the back of the field. Jonathan Hershey, Clivio Piccioni, and then at the back, just checking that grid graphic. In fact, I think the #8 car is going to be starting from further up the order than that. There was an issue, a technical issue, but I think that was resolved, and I think they are actually starting further up the grid than that. Let's just see the cars as they head off then on the formation lap. Great to see the Blancpain Lamborghini starting from the outside of the front row. It's Christopher Haas who is going to be starting the car. Peter Cox will be taking it over a little bit later on as they pass our chronometry position. I can tell you that #8 Aston Martin is indeed starting from the 4th row of the grid, not from the back of the grid. So as they continue on around on this formation lap, it's going to give us an opportunity to perhaps take a little bit more of a look at the Paul Ricard circuit, Johnny. Obviously, it's defined by its long back straight, the Mistral straight with a chicane in it nowadays as well. But the section they're going down into here is quite fiddly, tricky on the first lap when they're all bunched up.
Yeah, well, it's very technical. We've got a right-hander followed by a left and a right. And the right-hander, sorry, is the left-hander, and the right-hander now is coming up, is the slowest, probably one of the slowest parts of the circuit. But it's use that curve, and then you've got a nice right-hander which leads on to the main straight, the Minstrel straight. Very important to get as much grip as you can from the car to get yourself out, to get that high speed down the straight. So hopefully we're going to see a lot of overtaking down this Minstrel straight.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're speeding up to about 260 kilometers per hour when they're at full speed before the chicane, which is just over 160 miles an hour, 160, 165 miles an hour when they're fully up to pace coming down to this section. And then it's the chicane they're using, they're actually turning left. You were telling me there's a combination of different chicanes they can use here.
Yeah, there's one you can actually turn, is the exit of it actually there on the right-hand side. So you can either do a right chicane a little bit further down, which is what we're using this weekend. There's a left chicane, which used to be just a long straight all the way down to the senior corners. So it's a demanding circuit. Here we are into the chicane. This will be the right-hander, which again leads on to the straight once again. And as I said initially at the beginning, you've always got to try and get yourself out of those corners to carry that speed to, one, give yourself the advantage of the speed down the straight, but also in a race situation of being able to slingshot and slipstream past the car.
One of the most famous corners in motorsport coming up at the end of that straight is called Senior, and in whatever kind of car you're in, it's pretty daunting. In single seaters, it's virtually flat out. Not quite so much in these cars.
No, a little bit of an ease off. I think the balance of the car is obviously you're trying to get as much as you can through those sort of technical slower corners, and generally in a high-speed corner, even if you go flat or you lift, the difference is very, very small. So that's where you're not particularly bothered. As long as you can get through it smoothly, it's not really a problem. I think that we've gone through that fast right-hander, and this is that double right-hander. I think it's called the double droite du basset. I think I said that right. Which is basically a double right-hander, and it's sort of the second part here, it just dips down a little bit, which gives the car a little bit of understeer, so you've got to be a little bit wary of that. And with the understeer, of course, you get more temperature in the tyre, you get more understeer, and that's where you've got to look after the tyre. So that's where these guys have really got to work hard at being able to not make the tyre slide front and rear. And we're going through this sort of final technical part of the track. Again, the same thing. There's a left-hander, probably as we go back in, yes, we're on the right, and then there's a long left-hander which goes into the last corner, and the same situation. So then they're all bunching up. This will probably be the start, so you want to get as close as you can.
So yes, they are bunching up indeed, and Michael Bartels will want to make it a clean start because they've already been done once this year for jumping the start. Even though it is a rolling start, they've got to control the pace. The Lamborghini alongside, so it's Maserati and Lamborghini on the front row, Nissan and Corvette on the second row. 4 different manufacturers, 4 different brands up front. The race gets underway and we're immediately on board, charging down towards the first corner. It's the Lamborghini that's got in front. Christopher Haas has got in front. We're riding on board the number 22 car, Jamie Campbell-Walter and the Nissan. Now they've got to squeeze into the first corner. The Lamborghini leads, great start. The Corvette's up to third place, and then the Nissans. So the Nissans sort of bunching up together as they go through the first bend, but it's first claim for Lamborghini in this race as he gets ahead of that quick Maserati in qualifying. Christopher Haas leads.
I think that was a very important start to get in the front, to get ahead of that Maserati, because that car does look very strong. Now it's settling down. Hopefully we've got someone cutting across the inside of the corner there, but the Lamborghini is important now. He's got to keep that car in as best shape as he can, especially those tyres.
Yeah, but it was an excellent getaway, as you say, and the Lamborghini is so important for it to make that initial break and see if they can do something with it. The two Fords running virtually together, Thomas Much and Natasha Gachnan in the two Fords. Olivier Panis sharing driving duties with Natasha Gachnan this weekend. Down into the chicane for the first time. That Lamborghini still has the advantage. Oh, and somebody's going straight off. It's one of the Hager Maseratis, has to take to the escape road and rejoins.
Yeah, and I think they just made maybe a tiny bit of contact, but I think they're going to lose. I think they're side by side once again as we go down that main straight. I can see him pushing. He's actually gone back past that Maserati, so he actually did make the move count.
What a sight as they all head into Scene Corner. On board here with Jamie Campbell-Walter. He's in the number 22 Superpower Nissan, the Tourist Trophy winning Nissan from Silverstone. And tucked in behind his teammate there, Peter Dumbreck, immediately ahead. Watch the work going on in the steering wheel.
It's a lot going on. It's a little stick there. If you push in there, it's just one gear down. That's white sort of fan as it is. That's the engine, the driver cooling. Leaves upshift. There'll probably be one more, yes, and then there will be a two downshift for the left-hander. Trying to keep as much pressure as he can on his teammate to enable himself to get in front.
Yeah, they will definitely be pushing all the time, but he won't want to upset the rhythm of Dumbreck. If they can make a break from the cars behind, of course it will be to their advantage. Notice the young driver, Aston Martin of Stefan Mucker, going pretty well, just behind them, the number 8 car. Jamie Campbell-Walter got very close here to the back of Peter Dumbreck. I'm not sure if he's going to be quite able to do anything with it. The Dumbreck car is actually carrying a little bit of ballast from the last race, success ballast, so that would hurt them a little bit perhaps. That might give Jamie Campbell-Walter the idea that he might be able to get past, but up front is still the Lamborghini of Christopher Haas leading. He'll be handing over to Peter Cox later in the race. Peter Cox, who crashed his car at Renault last time, now trying to make up for it. Can they come home with Lamborghini's first win of the season? That really would be impressive stuff indeed. The other Maserati Vitaphone car going through there, that's running down in 10th place, and everyone else still jostling for position. V8s versus V12s and front engine versus mid-engine, but we've got a real contest on our hands.
Yeah, we have, and it seems as if there's a little break from those front three. They seem to be sort of just pulling out a little bit from these Nissans. You see that gap that is there, so the Nissans possibly are going to start to hold up the cars that are behind, and behind those two Nissans there is the Aston Martin. So this is probably not looking, it's not the best start for Nissan for sure, but I think at the front it's still holding his own. That Lamborghini is doing a sterling job.
Yeah, really good stuff this from Christopher Haas. As you say, there's that gap back to the Nissans, and then everybody sort of...
long train.
Yeah, long train, bunching up behind them. Peter Dumbreck in the 23 car, holding off the rest for the moment. Still early stages. The clock ticks away in the top of the screen. It's a 1-hour race with one pit stop where there'll be a driver change and a tyre change to cope with, and a very limited, only a couple of guys allowed to work on the car. So there's a lot to be done by the team as well as by the drivers if you're going to win this qualifying race. And remember, it's all about getting a good position for the championship race, and here's Jamie Campbell-Walter getting alongside.
He's done. That was a good move. That is a difficult one. He might try and get on the inside again, but I think Jamie's got it. Yeah, Jamie's held that. That's a good move. That very good move.
Well done, Jamie Campbell-Walter, fighting his teammate but getting away through. The Aston Martin not far behind them of Stefan Mucker. So there's the Team Sumo guys all keeping an eye on this. It was clean, so there's maybe a sense of relief that they've got through that with no contact between the two cars. Now I wonder if Jamie Campbell-Walter is going to be able to close that gap up to the leaders, and Peter Dumbreck might be able to keep everybody else behind. That would certainly help Campbell-Walter.
Oh, absolutely, and I think he's got a good chance, because it definitely didn't seem as if the Nissan was able to, Peter Dumbreck that is, to really hold the pace. Yeah, he's already broken away already. Now the Aston Martin's trying to get past, so this will actually work very much so in the favour of Jamie.
Yeah, so good stuff for him. One of the other Nissans, that's the number 4 car, one of the Swiss power cars. Max Nielsen at the wheel of that one, being chased by one of the four GTs. Of course, there's the Darren Turner Thomas Enger car. Thomas down in 20th place starting that car. Qualifying did not go particularly well. They are carrying success ballast as well. And look at this battle up front. Lamborghini versus Maserati. Nothing to choose. Always gone a bit deep into the chicane, Christopher Haas.
Yeah, this is what he goes. He's got to be careful with his tyres. It's the early part of the race. This is when you do the damage. You've got the most weight in the car with the fuel, and this is where it really damages the tyre. So he's got to really, really monitor what he does in his driving style. But of course, behind, the Maserati is pushing him hard.
Yeah, it is. This is the battle of the Italian manufacturers at the moment. Lamborghini versus Maserati. Jamie Campbell-Walters putting in some purple sector times on our timing screen, so you were absolutely right. Now he's got past Peter Dumbreck. He is going on a chase off these guys, the top 3 up front. Don't forget that Corvette of Xavier Marson running well in 3rd.
Yeah, and he's got the advantage. It does seem as if they're, albeit the first, 2nd and 3rd car, being held up by that Lamborghini. And that's enabling Jamie to actually close that gap quite quickly, because they're pretty impressive times already.
Good to see the Blancpain car up there, though. Christopher Haas, 22-year-old German, raced in the FIA GT3 European Championship in 2009, had some victories in that, came out of more Lamborghini racing before that, in fact, in the German GT series, but he's probably not as experienced as some of those guys who are sort of ganging up on him behind. And there's a little look down the inside from Michael Bartels, but he decides against it. Still early stages in this race, and it's the championship race that they've got to be thinking about at all times. They cannot afford to make a big mistake in this one and throw away chances of scoring points in the 2nd race of the weekend.
Yeah, and Jamie's about half a second quicker than the rest of the field, so at the moment he's doing a good job, because I think he needs to be able to just get on the back of that first 3 cars, but also he doesn't want to sort of overdrive his tyres at the same time. So it's quite a tricky sort of situation that he's in at the moment.
Mid-engine V12 in the Lamborghini, much the same in the Maserati than the front-engine V8 powered Corvette, hanging on gamely in 3rd place. And then the Nissan GT-R, here comes that Maserati on a challenge for the lead. He has a little look, then has another look. Is he going to go for it into the chicane? Decides against it. Christopher Haas is doing a pretty big defensive job, but that's fair news. He's leading this race.
Absolutely, absolutely, but it's slowing them down. This is the problem for the Maserati. He's got to be able to get past very, very soon.
So we're on board the Corvette in 3rd place. Watch it at seam corner.
Yeah, very close. Sort of rolls the car through, getting on the power as quick as you can. It's quite difficult, possible, but quite difficult to overtake here on this double right-hander. But I think on this particular occasion, he's not going to be able to do that, because the Maserati is very, very stable.
Yeah, it is. It's a low centre of gravity. Really looks superb, but that Corvette is going well. Xavier Marson sharing once again this weekend with Mike Hazemans. There's only the one Phoenix Corvette here this weekend, so those two lined up together in the Mad Croc Racing entry. But you've got this contrast once again, which is great to see. 3 different brands there in the top 3 places and being chased by another. And there's the other Mad Croc car, the number 12 machine, spun to the side. And that's, oh dear, that's a bit disappointing. Kuzmanen just about getting going once again, I think. But up front, the top 3, just the top 2 actually, just making a little bit of a break on that lap from Xavier Marson in 3rd place. Campbell-Walton still closing up on them and seeing if he can become a factor in that battle up front. We're inside the Vitaphone pit, and both Andrea Bertolini and Enrique Bernaldi, who are due to take over later, watching those screens intently. I'm wondering, what am I going to be left in? Will I have a car at the end of this? Because it's quite a scrap up front.
It is, and the pressure's getting more and more and more on the Lamborghini. But the Maserati, for me, for what I've seen, for what we've both seen after qualifying, does seem to have I think the legs and everybody else, but he's got to get in front first.
He's definitely closing up. Another good fastest first sector there from Jamie. So he's flying, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And again, he's being helped by the Lamborghini. I'm sure he's not quite on the pace, but you know, we're going to have to see if that Maserati can actually do a dive down the inside. Not on this occasion once again. The chicane down the mid-straw straight.
He really had to brake late that time. I thought we were going to see one of those, you know, big old weavy braking and running deep, but he got it under control nicely. And I tell you what, Christopher Haas, I'm impressed with this so far. He's got the lead. He's not going to give it up easily.
No, he's not, and he hasn't made any mistakes yet, which is great. And that's always an important thing of this type of racing. You make an error when the cars are this close, and of course you're going to lose out. So at the moment, very impressed, John.
So Lamborghini looking good in the qualifying race, but Maserati chasing them down. That #1 Vitaphone Maserati with Michael Bartels at the wheel, so experienced, knows how to deal with situations like this. He will apply a certain amount of patience because it's still early stages, still going to hand the car over to his teammate, and it's only the first race of the weekend, which does not score many points. A few points on offer, but it's really about grid position for the championship race. Don't forget that Corvette, ready to take advantage of any little problems there might be, and Enrique Bernoldi there keeping her close. It's sweet, isn't it? Wives are obviously out in force this weekend, being in Paul Ricard. It was a tough decision to come to the south of France, but they gamely came along anyway.
I know it is tough. You're sort of packing all your sun cream on the way down. It's a hard thing to do.
Hard life, isn't it? There's Jamie Campbell-Walton, still catching, still closing up. We're riding on board with him now, Johnny. So where do you think he can find a little bit more speed and catch them even further?
Well, I think where he's got to be able to do it is the entry of the corners, and I think that's really the easiest place for him to do it without damaging the tyres. And it seems as if he's caught them down at the far end. He's going to be very good into that sort of right-left. Now we're going on to the right, onto the Minstrel Straight, and then it will be the braking of that chicane, which were for him will be important, just to gain that little bit of time each lap to get on the back end of that Corvette.
Sumo Power guys are keeping a close eye on this one. Here comes Michael Bartels.
This could be it. No.
Oh, it's Bartels gets out of shape. Oh, he saved it beautifully. Just about gathered it together.
Great racing.
I thought he was heading for the barrier for a moment there.
Now he's got the Corvette right up his chuff now, so now he's got to try and defend his position now, which he wasn't doing only about 5 seconds ago.
Gives a break to Christopher Haas in the Lamborghini just for a moment. He's got to take a breather. Managed to fight him off there, and now, as you say, as he runs over the curb on the exit there, the Corvette breathing down his neck. And Xavier Martin will be loving this in third place. He will be getting that Corvette as close and as fill those mirrors as much as he can.
He can, and Jamie just getting onto the back of these guys as well. So as they're all scrabbling over each other, Jamie's been able to get onto the back of that Corvette, which is a wonderful job for him.
So we're getting it into a four-way tussle for the lead now in these early stages still of the qualifying race from Paul Ricard. Beautiful sunshine, and although it's getting into late afternoon, it's still very, very warm, both outside and particularly in those cars. And look at Jamie Campbell-Walton, the fourth of the four cars that are crossed the line. Lamborghini, Maserati, Corvette, and now Nissan is a part of the game. And that car towers over the other cars, but it is so rapid and it sounds wonderful. The V8 power in there really working for them.
Oh, it is, yeah. And sometimes, I think when they get so close, I don't think they can actually see the car in front. They see straight over the top of it. It's so high. But it does seem to have the performance.
Well, absolutely. It's been flying, hasn't he? And he's pulled away well from the cars behind, so no danger there. There's been a change for fifth. Let's just keep an eye on this battle up front, though, because it's getting ever closer.
I think that Lamborghini's starting to struggle a little bit with his tyres and everybody else, and that's why they're bunching up, I think, at the back of him. He's hanging on, but I think he's gonna lose it soon. I think the pressure's gonna get to him.
We've lost the young driver Aston that was running pretty well up, actually, because of a drive shaft problem, so that's disappointing. Meanwhile, Nicky Pastorelli's come up to 5th place. Peter Dunbreck has dropped down to 6th position now in the other Nissan. But let's watch this battle up front. Wonderful stuff, as the Lamborghini has led from the start and has just about managed to control the race. But now we've got a four-way tussle for the lead. 4 different brands, and each of the drivers looking for the opportunity to edge ahead here. Still the Lamborghini turns into senior corner in front of the Maserati, the Corvette and the Nissan on their tail.
Yeah, this is going to be sort of mind games and pressure on all 4 of these cars, because they're all going to be trying to sort of outsight the other one, and of course they're all trying to do the same thing. So it's going to be interesting how they can actually put the pressure on, especially at the front end, to get in the lead and make that break.
Great pictures down at the pits, aren't they? I mean, everyone is just glued to these monitors because no one knows quite how this is going to be resolved. And it's still a long way to go in this race. Just over 45 minutes still to go. We've got the pit stop to deal with. And you just feel that something is building here, and it could all change in an instant, and you could get a completely different situation. On board with Jamie Campbell-Walter, and let's just enjoy the ride here for a moment with him as he heads down into that first section. So just a chance there to listen to a bit of that V8 power. It's absolutely wonderful sound, both on the outside and on the inside, as we are there riding with Jamie, and that's what it sounds like. And you can see him working pretty hard on the steering. He's fighting the car a little bit for grip, making little adjustments, and still a part of this train up front. The Maserati's going on the attack again. Michael Bartels having a look, but he's fairly cautious because he almost got himself into trouble a couple of laps ago. Deep, deep goes Christopher Haas, and that could give Bartels a run on the exit of the corner. Oh, was there a touch?
I think that was close. I don't think so, no. They're side by, I think he's side by side now, so now the Corvette, you see, could capitalise on this. But the Lamborghini is quick down that straight.
Look at this three-way tussle, and Lamborghini just gets in front, turns in front.
Now that Corvette.
Yeah, watch him, watch him. Where's he going?
No, not quite. Great fight.
And then Nissan has joined in again. So all of these guys fighting around, and Jamie Campbell-Walter says, keep fighting, guys, because I'm here.
I think he just needs to watch for the moment.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He pulled off a move on his teammate down at an unusual place, which was down here, wasn't it? A bit further round, so I wonder if he can do the same. He's going to have a go if he gets half a chance, I'm sure.
They seem to be very good on the Nissan, very good on the technical side of it, which in these cars with these tyres, after a bit of running, a little bit more running, is going to be very important down the line.
Yeah, will they keep their tyres as strong? That's the question. The Maserati looks threatening in second, as it has been from the start, and we know, as we've already said, it looks after its tyres very well. Top four cross the line then, and there's still nothing to choose between them. It's still the Lamborghini leading into the first corner, the Maserati in second place. It's Christopher Haas who just about has control of this race, but by the narrowest of margins in that brighter Lamborghini Murcielago, and he's using every one of those horsepower, that V12 6.5 litre engine, to just about keep that Maserati behind for now. On board with Jamie Campbell-Walter again, trying not to slither too wide.
That was optimistic.
That was optimistic, and I thought for a moment the Corvette was going to have him.
Yeah, no, I don't know what he thought he was trying to do there, but he was very fortunate to get away with that without clipping the back with the Lamborghini, but also not losing out to the Corvette. Very lucky.
Very fortunate, and not like Michael Bartels to make a mistake. Is he getting frustrated now? Do you get that sense that he's just beginning to think, come on, I want to get past, I can go quicker
let's have
than
a
you.
look. There you go. So is this going to be, this looks like, that is done. That's a done move. Now, is it, it's going to be, it's what happens with that Corvette. I don't know where it is. Was it the side or not? I think it must be still behind. That was a great move, because he needed to do it. He was very lucky in the beginning of that section, the beginning of the straight. Now he's ahead. I think he's going to pull away.
The Maserati has done it, you're right. He's got that place, and now can anybody stay with him? In a way, we almost need someone else to sort of go on the attack as well, and because that Lamborghini is struggling a little bit now. The Maserati might disappear into the distance, so the Corvette and the Nissan behind can't afford to wait too long. Take another look at how it was done.
Yeah, well, just down the inside, and of course he's got nowhere to go because he can't turn left. Because there he is, there's the front of the car, he goes quite wide. Very lucky not to lose out on this right-hander exiting with the Corvette behind. But he got on the power very well, and I think that Lamborghini has a good straight-line speed as well, which probably helped and benefited him.
Yeah, it's been helping. Oh, little look there from Jamie Campbell-Walter. No, not quite. He's still tucked in behind the Corvette. Maserati beginning to make a little break for it. And we could see some new fastest laps here, perhaps. Although Jamie Campbell-Walter's got fastest lap from earlier in the race when he was chasing down those leaders, remember. Peter Dunbreck in the number 23 Nissan. He sits in 8th place. Chased at the moment by the Ford GT, who's just moved up, I think, a couple of places. So that's pretty good stuff.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there've been some changes on that last lap because Maxime Martin was come through in the number 40 Ford, suitably enough, and he's definitely gained a place or two on that last lap. Behind them, we've got Bert Longin, and then Thomas Much in the number 5 Ford, the car that we've seen win twice this year in championship races in the hands of himself and Romain Grosjean. So that car's running in 12th place, the number 5 car, just behind these guys. This car, number 40, is in 10th place, another Ford GT, and look at how Peter Dumbrek is having to be ever so defensive now. Yeah,
very much so. He's sort of dropping back quite a lot, considering where he started. So he's dropping down quite a lot. But it's just wonderful seeing. You've got the Corvette in front, then the Nissan, then the GT, then a Maserati, then a GT again. And then I think it's a Lamborghini behind that. 2 Lamborghinis, I think. So it's just wonderful seeing all the different marks racing each other.
On board with Thomas Much then, the number 5 Ford GT, as he heads down that Mistral straight, trying to move up from 12th position at the moment. Just a quick note on some of the other guys further back. Battle for second. Oh, Corvette, yes, moved into second place. The Corvette in second place ahead of the Lamborghini. Now then, that's interesting. The Maserati, as you can see, has already made a break, but the Corvette now has moved into second place. Lamborghini in third, under attack from the Nissan, and Christopher Haas, who has driven so well, but we knew he was struggling a little bit for grip, and he's now finding himself dropping down the order. But if he keeps his head here, he can still bring the car in to Peter Cox and hand it over in a decent position.
And precisely, I think that's what he's got to try and do. He's got to try and, I don't know, nurse that car is probably the wrong word, but he's got to be able to do it. This is that pass, same place, into that chicane down the straight, down the inside, sweetly done, no problem.
Yeah, lovely.
Nicely done.
Beautifully judged there by Xavier Marson in the number 11 Corvette, and the Dutchman making a fairly easy meet of it. Now, talking of a Dutch driver, there's another one. Well, they're going one in the World Cup at the moment. How can they get on in GT racing here this weekend? Peter Cox will be taking over the Lamborghini that was leading for so many laps, now finds itself down in third place, and the pit window opening up pretty soon. We've got some more battles going on further back here as well, as the Ford right in the middle of the sandwich gets past Dumbrek.
I mean, yes,
fantastic.
That was great.
And getting past Bert Longin as well. He got past
too. Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't know what's wrong with the Nissan. Seemed to have a bit of a slow entry into that corner. So I don't know what's going on. There's another Lamborghini, I think, past. I think he's just past that Lamborghini. I think
he's coming up towards the other Reiter car. That's the Ricard Zonta, Rafael Daniel.
The Aston trying to go around the outside. The Swiss Nissan.
It's crazy.
I think he may have done it. Has he done it?
Oh, go on. Get it, yeah, he's got the line now.
Yeah, I know, this next line you've got to be careful.
Oh! Yeah, they almost touched.
Very good. And now he's lost out because he's lost his momentum. So now the cars are going all over the place trying to pass him, which they're going to do.
Ganging up on him as they come down the straight, down to the chicane. Lamborghini versus Nissan still going on for third place, remember, as the top two have definitely broken away now. Race leader has a 3-second advantage in the Maserati, back to the Corvette that's now in second. This is the race for third place, and they've got a little bit of a gap to Nicky Pastorelli, who's running in fifth, so at least helps Jamie Cabell-Walter in the number 22 Nissan, because he doesn't have to...
I think he's run wide, yes, the Lamborghini. This is normally where Jamie's very quick. Now the Lamborghini, he might do trying to see if he does a move. Maybe I'm a bit optimistic, yes. He needs to do it quite quickly now, Jamie, because obviously the other two guys are getting in front, and he's looking down the inside there, he's getting all frustrated now. But the Lamborghini's struggling, you can see he's missing his apexes and everything. So he needs to do this soon, because when he hands it over, he doesn't want to give it to his teammate with that car still in front.
And the Al Inkel Lamborghini's not too far behind as well, because that's catching up too. So Jamie, in a sense, needs to get on with getting past this Lamborghini if he possibly can, in a good, clean way. And Christopher Haas is sort of hanging on at the moment. We can see the lack of grip, as you say, sort of missing apexes and darting around a bit, but so far keeping it under control, and he won't want to lose any more positions if he can avoid it.
No, he doesn't, but this seems to be where this section, when we go through this right-hander, or their right to, and now this right-hander here, this is where he needs to get so close to him now, Jamie, because this right-hander is going to be important onto the straight, and this is where the guys have been able to get close enough to pass him. Not quite sure if he's going to be close enough on this occasion, but
Peter Cox,
hopefully it is.
Yeah, all ready to go, and all the other drivers. There's Michael Krum, who'll be taking over from Peter Dumbrek. Some loosening up exercises going on. Andrea Bertolini getting ready as well. What's going on here? It's still all tight behind Peter Dumbrek. Dumbrek has really struggled as this race has progressed, hasn't he?
Yes, usually so. It's quite surprising when you've got two same cars, same team, and the difference is so different.
The number 9 Aston Martin in there, Thomas Ackery, the young Frenchman, going well, but they're all bottling up behind that Nissan, and it had pace in the early stages, but not so much now. Lamborghini of Rafael Daniel having a little look down the inside. The pit window has opened up. We're 25 minutes into the race. Pit stops can begin from now on. Who chooses to come in? It's down to the teams, and we reckon that Campbell Walter may have moved up into 3rd place as they have come around this next time, and he could well have just snatched that 3rd place from the Lamborghini. We'll see when he comes back. That's Peter Dunbrecht that you're looking at in the number 23 car. He's got his own battle going on because he's got a Lamborghini behind him and an Aston Martin, the Hexis number 9 car, run by the local team to this Paul Ricard track, but struggled in qualifying.
Yeah, well, that Lamborghini and that Aston Martin, if that Nissan doesn't pit, they need to pit, because I think they will get the advantage.
Oh.
But he's just run wide. I think that's, yes, one is through. The Lamborghini popped through.
Yeah, I think he was heading off for too long, something on that one. Peter Cox will be taking over this car. He jumps on board. And a good effort by Christopher Haas, as still the attack rages behind Dunbrecht. Oh,
He's clipped it.
He's lost it! Trying to come out of that last corner. My goodness.
I think the Nissan was coming in the pits and the Aston was coming in the pits, yes. And I think they just moved over and took the front off the Aston.
Oh, what a place to spin as everybody's charging into the pit lane. Enrique Bernoldi taking over the number 2 Maserati now. The number 23 car, Peter Dunbrecht, for Michael Krum to take over. And a used set of tyres going on board that. So, watch these pit stops. Only 2 guys allowed to actually affect the wheel change under the supervision of the team manager. So it's tough work, this. Away goes the number 2 machine. Looked pretty effective. The number 1 car hasn't been in yet, as Peter Cox comes onto the track now to see what he can do after Christopher Haas did such a fine job.
Yeah, and he's ahead.
Yep, well, he's ahead of that car, but the other car hasn't come in yet. That's the number 2 car. So it's the other one. Yeah, it's the number 1 we've got to keep an eye on. Don't confuse me. It's confusing enough as it is. So now this is what happened here, Johnny.
Well, I think the Nissan, you can see he's got close. He's going to the right. I don't think they made contact. I think it's just because he saw the Nissan come over on it. I don't think they actually made contact.
He sort of tightened his line.
Yes.
Put the boot in anyway.
And then that was it.
And swapped ends. Yeah. So up front, here car, no, not yet, just yet. Here's the race leader then, waiting for him to come in. Michael Bartels will be handing over to Andrea Bertolini. Is he coming in?
Yeah. Okay.
Slight it out. That's sort of what the other guy was trying to do, except he didn't get it right. Now, into the pits he comes. It's an unusual kind of pit entry here, isn't it, at Paul Ricard? Don't tend to see pit entries like that very often nowadays.
No, very, very tight. The cameraman in the way. Yeah, that's fine.
Andrea Bertolini making sure of that. They're right down at the end of the pits here. So, now the guys go to work. You see how it's just the 2 mechanics who are actually allowed to do the wheel change with the gun, and the other guy's rushing around with the wheels, puts the wheel on, swaps, takes the wheel away. Not easy, and I tell you what, in this temperature too, these guys running around, fully suited and booted, full Nomex on, fire protective gear, in these high temperatures, that is sweaty work, let me tell you, as Andrea Bertolini gets ready to go.
Yeah, nice stop, very clean.
That
good stop, yeah.
Magic stuff. On his way again. So that means at the moment this car's leading, the Corvette, the number 11 car, Xavier Marson. He'll be handing over to Mike Hazemans shortly, presumably, but he's leading this race, and Jamie Campbell-Walter is in 2nd position in that Nissan with the lights ablaze just in the background of the shot. So will the Maserati, I think that was a great stop by the Vitaphone team, which is really what we've come to expect from them.
Yeah, me too, I think so. I think it was a very, very slick pit stop.
Now, Olivier Panis is taking this car over, former Grand Prix driver for many years, of course. Your teammate on one occasion, Johnny?
Yes, he's he's making his debut. He's doing a very good job. Great guy is Olivier, and I think he'll be a very competent GT1 driver. Yeah,
I'm sure he will be totally at ease here on French turf as well. As Xavier Marson continues to lap at a reasonable pace, but talking of reasonable pace, we'll see what the leader can do now that they've swapped around. I can imagine we're going to see some pretty quick laps from Andrea Bertolini when he comes around next time.
Yeah, well, I know when he did, I think his last lap, like his pit-in lap, effectively, was like a 2.6. So
that's fast, because most of the others doing 2 minutes 8.
Well, a 2:63 is actually the fastest lap. So,
yeah.
So that's not bad at all.
Of course, so we'll see what it is next time around. But there is Xavier Marson, and he is coming in. Okay, so Xavier Marson, careful not to cross the white line on pit entry. There are a few people who got into trouble for that, of course, at Silverstone. Most notably the Aston Martin of Thomas Enger and Darren Turner. But he avoids that mistake. And Mike Hazemans, another Dutchman, well, plenty of quick Dutch drivers in GT1, jumps aboard and ready to go in the Corvette. Now, it's really the battle between him and the Nissan of Jamie Campbell-Walter, which has also come in the pits at the same time, interestingly. So that could be very interesting to see which of them gets out ahead. You'd expect the Corvette to be out first. They came in first. The Nissan just in the background of the shot. There it is. The number 22 car. Jamie's out. Warren Hughes jumps on now. And wait for it. No! The Corvette getting away up ahead, you just saw. So I think that Corvette's retained the edge there, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's actually extended. I think the Nissan definitely stalled, so he's lost a bit of time with that.
Meanwhile, across the line goes the Maserati. I think that's going to still be comfortably in front there on the pit lane speed limiter, which seems to take an age for them to come down into. Now that is Peter Cox ahead in the Lamborghini, isn't it? I think it is in the number 24 car. It is. That's fantastic.
But good news for him, for Peter.
So to remind you, that was the Lamborghini that was leading early on. I don't think it will have taken the lead, but it has got itself back ahead of the Corvette, back ahead of the Nissan.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't. Well, very much. I'd be shocked if he actually takes the lead. But I think he's. That was a great, obviously in and out lap, to be honest, or especially an in lap. And I think that's where they've gained slick pit stop work as well, and they've paid dividends.
Brilliant job by the Lamborghini, Reiter Engineering. And Christopher Haas was definitely the star of that first stint, and he's talking to Haley in the pits.
Christopher, what a great start to your stint you had there.
Yes, my start was really good. I had the first place of the start, and yeah, I could for a few laps stay on the first position, but our tires on the rear was after a few laps, I think after 5 or 6 laps, it was unbelievable. I had no traction and I had so much problem with the rear. I can't go the pace from the Maserati and the Corvette and the Nissan, so yeah, it was a problem, but I think the Lamborghini was a great start.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, he was a star of the show in the first part, and now it's Peter Cox who'll be seeing what he can do. Meanwhile, we're looking at the number 37 car there, Christophe Bouchou, in the Al Inkel Lamborghini, chased by the other Reiter Lamborghini, the number 25 car, as they head down towards. Now, let's just take a little look back at some of this.
He got nudged by Carl. Carl nudged the back of the Aston Martin. That's why he went into a spin.
And I think that car has pulled over since. He got a flat right front tyre, and there's a notice on our timing screens that I think he ended up pulling over after that.
That's why.
So that's a great shame, but as you say, it does explain it a little bit more, doesn't it?
Just a bit.
So this car is still going to be our race leader when he comes past the line next time, because everybody, I think, has now made their pit stop, and as he does cross the line the next time around, then the timing screens will update, and Michael Bartel's doing a good job in that first stint. Good first sector, by the way, for Thomas Enger, who's out in the number 7 Aston Martin. But as that Maserati continues around on the lap, it looks as though they should have a pretty comfortable lead now. Coming over in second place, the battles between the Lamborghini and the Nissan as well. So Andrea Bertolini in good shape, should be fairly comfortable for him here as he continues round. He just gears off, mate. And look, he's got a look. You can look back now and really see what the gap is.
Yeah, there's Peter, and now it's down to Peter if he can just get a grip of this now and try and push as hard as he can. So now Peter, yeah, he's going to push as hard as he can without damaging the tyres with a bit of luck, and he might be able to maybe close the gap. I don't think so, but give it a go, Peter.
It's worth it, isn't it? It's worth a go. But you know what? This could still be the best result for Lamborghini so far this year. So you won't want to jeopardise that. And let's not forget, this is the qualifying race. This is the race that sets them on the grid for the championship race. So it would be daft to do something silly in trying to chase everybody. There's the number 23 Nissan just flying through the shot. Now being, yeah, now that's interesting. I think he's just gone past Thomas Enger on that lap, because the last time they came past us, Enger was ahead, and now it's the other way around. So maybe there was a little mistake somewhere along the line. Right behind them is this car, the number 9 car, Fred Markovici in the car now, and he's a part of this group, but they're not as far up as you might have imagined after the performance we've seen from them in the earlier part of the season. They're all fighting for sort of 12th, 13th places at the moment.
Yeah, they are, and Thomas must have made a mistake. I might be surprised if he would have been passed by that Nissan. Maybe he was, maybe he's struggling there a lot. But you did say, Ben, he did do a very quick split quite early on, I think, from going out the pit. So obviously the pace must have been there. I'd be surprised if the tyres went off.
Yeah, no, that was a slightly strange one. He's in 11th place. Krum is just ahead in 10th place. You're riding board Markovici here, who's in 12th position. And yeah, Enger, yeah, his last lap was a 2:09 versus a 2:07 from Michael Krum.
Yeah, so I guess there must have been something that allowed Michael to get past.
So that was on board with Fred Markovici, who's pretty busy this weekend, doing some GT3 as well. But up front, the race leader is the Maserati of Michael Bartels and Andrea Bertolini. They have an 11-second advantage now. Let's go down and hear from Michael, who's talking to Haley.
Dave, come in. I have Michael Bartels.
So, Haley talking now to Michael Bartels.
That was a fantastic battle between yourself and Christopher there.
Well, I think this is how it should be GT sport. It was quite fair. He used all his potential in the right way. But then after 4 or 5 laps, I decided to step a little back. He was quite nervous, but then I was waiting when his tires were a little bit more off and I could pass him. But it was nice. Young guy, not so experienced, against me, 20 years of racing or more, so it was really nice. The Lambo have a big potential, and but I think it was nice and good to watch.
Thank you, Michael.
Well, he enjoyed that, didn't he?
It was good to watch.
Yeah, it was fun for us. But there is Christopher Haas, who has got a nice sort of little recommendation, if you like, there from one of the most experienced, most successful GT racers of recent years. Oh, that's not bad, is it?
No, not at all, and I think he was struggling very early, and he took the pressure, and he didn't make any mistakes.
No, I didn't. I was really impressed.
It's very, very
You never saw the car sort of squirming around, really out of shape, or...
No, not at all. I think he made one little error when the Nissan got by, but that was about all he did.
But now, of course, for the Mitsubishi car, it's pretty plain sailing for the moment, because they've got this 11-second lead. Looking there at Romain Grosjean, he's got up to 8th place, so he's managed to... They had another good pit stop, and he's catching, and I'll tell you what, this guy is a good overtaker. We've seen it already. He's chasing the number 33 car of Alfred Hager as he head around the lap. And Romain Grosjean, do not to discount him, because he was pulling off some wonderful manoeuvres in Brno. He also did the same in Abu Dhabi.
I'm sure he will do it here as well. He gets half a chance. And next, I can notice he's got a bit of loose bodywork. The right hand is flapping about on the right of his windscreen. Hopefully that won't cause any problems to him. Shouldn't do. But again, he's just such a pusher, and you know, his fitness levels are so high because he still has the desire to get back into Formula One. Who knows? It's going to be hard for him in some regard because he's doing this type of racing, which is not really the route you would want to take to get back into Formula One. But if he keeps getting the results, he might have a chance.
Yeah, it can be done, can't it? And some drivers have managed to do that over the years, come back out. There's Thomas Mutch's teammate watching to see how Romain Grosjean's going on. Well, actually, he wasn't watching then. He was busy having a chat with one of his colleagues at the Martech team. But Romain Grosjean is definitely bearing down on Alfred Hager. You know, he went and did a single-seater race last weekend in the Auto GP series. The first race he'd ever done, and he went out and won it. I mean, the guy is a talent, isn't he?
It's not so bad, is it?
So it's pretty good.
No.
So, you know, Romain Grosjean had that little bit of F1 experience with Renault. As you say, can be difficult to get back out. But let's watch him here, Johnny. Tell us, what can we see from the onboard?
Well, you can just see sort of the drive in with that gear sticking out the steering wheel. Obviously, it's going left or all right, but it's that gear stick that is interesting, because it's like a motorcycle stick. It's you know, just pulls back, it goes up the gears. Maybe another one as he goes up again. Probably one more. There you go. And then he'll be going down to the first corner and then shifting down a couple of gears. You know, it's a very nicely made car, and everything seems to work very well, and he's very comfortable in it, which is very important as a racing driver to have that.
Only 1.3 seconds behind the car ahead of him, Alfred Hager, on that last lap. Definitely looking to close that gap a little bit more. He was only 0.3 quicker, I think, though, so at that rate it's going to take him a few laps to really get fully on terms. Depends how he's looking after those tyres.
Yeah, exactly, and it's quite settling down. We've sort of got the top six, and they're all sort of around a couple of tenths from each other effectively. That's obviously going to make it a little bit more static for the race, but as we all know, and as we've all been told, it's all going to be about the tyre management. And
you keep telling us.
And if someone can use those tyres latterly in the race to be able to use them to get in front of whoever's in front of them.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if you're right. We'll see if
let's hope there's a battle of the end.
So Maserati still leading. Yeah, we were watching that little flapping. Well, there's damage on that right front wing somewhere, so it's difficult to pick it out. Let's just see if we can see it here.
It just looks loose on the. I don't know. There's probably a fixation, I'm guessing, on the corner of the bodywork. Not that side, it's the other side.
Yeah,
we might see, and it's just a little bit loose. It just keeps flapping up there.
There you go.
And it's not moving much. It's not lifting that badly down the straight. So I think it's sort of pretty fixed down.
Some good laps being put in by Warren Hughes.
Just on that side there.
By the way,
I think there's a clip probably where
so
you just see a bit there. There's a clip that probably holds it on as well.
So younger members of the Martech team hopefully cheering their man on, Romain Grosjean. But just mentioning that Warren Hughes has just put in a fastest final sector. He had purple a moment ago too on the middle sector on the previous lap. And so Warren Hughes, the number 22 Nissan, running in 4th place. Let's just quickly remind you what's happening. It's the Maserati of Bertolini and Bartels that's leading. The Lamborghini of Peter Cox, which reclaimed 2nd place after a brilliant pit stop. The Corvette of Mike Hazelmans and Xavier Marston's running in 3rd place. The Warren Hughes, Jamie Campbell-Walter Nissan is running in 4th position. In 5th place is the Enrique Bernoldi Maserati. So there's 2 Vitaphone cars are now in the top 5, I should say. And then Andrea Piccini is in 6th place in his number 13 Corvette, that he's sharing with Mark Kenerici. And then you've got 7th and 8th, these guys that we're watching right now. Alfred Hager. Oh, and Hager, what happened there? Did he run a little bit off?
He just made a mistake on the entry and just ran a little bit wide.
It's not a big deal.
No, not a big deal at all.
So this is the battle, as I say, for 7th place. But again, it was 1.3 seconds that last lap. So Hager actually was able to hold it pretty much steady. And then just inside the top 10, Dominic Schwager in the number 38 car, and Michael Krum in that other Nissan, which sort of dropped back in the earlier stages of the race. That's sitting in 10th place. Darren Turner in his Aston Martin's currently in 11th place. We've got Frederick Makovic in 12th position. Seiji Ara is in 13th. We're watching the race leader in a very lonely up front at the moment. Here's that battle further back between Michael Krum and some of the others. He's actually ahead now, interestingly, of Dominic Schwager in the number 38 Lamborghini. So last time around it was vice versa. So perhaps Michael Krum has just been able to show that Nissan's coming alive again in the latter stages of the race.
Yeah, it seems to be, and the same with Warren Hughes. You know, he's lapping about, I don't know, 8 tenths faster than Mike Hausermans at the moment. He's only 4.5 seconds behind. So if he keeps going at that rate, it'll be 4 or so laps and he'll be there.
So it looks,
another fight.
It looks like the Nissan's holding onto the tyres quite well. There's Darren Turner in the number 7 Aston Martin. Now he's got tucked in behind Dominic Schwager. The Lamborghinis are the ones perhaps seem to, their performance seems to deteriorate a little bit as the stint continues. The Nissans, if anything, certainly the Sumo Power cars, seem to be maintaining a very consistent pace. That's impressive in a big tall car like the Nissan.
Yeah. Well, we saw the 22 okay, but we did see the 23 suffer in the first stint. But that sometimes happens. You just get sort of have a, I don't know, the tyre just go through a funny heat cycle, and sometimes they just don't quite perform as they should. But at the end of the day, Michael looks as if he's sort of getting it together. If we get inside,
this is an Aston Martin battle going.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you know, we got wealth of experience in front of him with Thomas Enger, and he's not the easiest man to pass at any time. So
no, I think it's Darren who's gone out.
Oh, is it Darren?
He's not any easier either, is he?
He's no easier either, no.
Well, driver like that. That's right. It is an impressive driver pairing. Yeah, there we go. We're on board with him now. Oh, did you see how sideways that Lamborghini got there?
Yeah, well, I think they punish the tyres. It seems.
Is that what it's called?
It does seem to be that way inclined, yes.
That
and again, there you go. It's the same problem.
Such a
I
great
think he's going to
run
get. Yeah, he's going to pass him, I would imagine, down the straight into the chicane, which seemed to be what we saw earlier on with Peter Cox.
The other Aston,
and he's going very tight.
A little bodywork flapping, and Darren Turner's got him. He's got him down into the chicane.
Done.
Makavicki will try and follow.
Exactly. Now he's going to try and do it on this drive out. Yeah, he's going to try. Yeah, he's used all the road.
Lamborghini's quite fast just there, though.
Well, it seems to have that sort of speed, sort of in the mid part to the end of the straight. But I think he's not going to quite do it here. No. So he goes through. He's run a bit wide. What's going to happen? He's going to have to sort of just pressurise him for the next couple of corners.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to find a way through. This is a difficult section on which to slip alongside. I've only seen one or two rare manoeuvres in this section of the track.
It could be there, the inside. It could be there.
That would have been a squeeze.
Exactly, but he's seen where Darren has been able to pass, so I know he can work on pressurising that Lamborghini to do a similar mistake and hopefully get past as well.
Trouble is, it's a long lap to get back there. It's 3.6 miles, 5.8 kilometres before you get back to that same point.
It is, I know that's the only problem, but you've got to be patient sometimes.
Yeah, that's our motto for the weekend. Remember, patience means performance. Stick with it. Stick with the program, John.
I'm going to stick with you.
Okay, down towards turn one, and he's still, well, he's having a little think, surely not close enough there.
Fully committed.
Yeah, not quite, but he couldn't really afford to be, could he? No. So it's all about the build-up now.
Well, this is it from this point on. Now he's got to pressurise this Lamborghini, just look right up his backside and really just be in his mirrors all the way through this section, because this is where the Lamborghini seems to have a bit of an issue. And it's going to be this right-hander they're coming up to now. And this is where he needs to get right at the backside. Yeah, so the same thing, a little bit of movement on the bodywork. This should be a big issue at the moment. Now he's going to get right up the backside, and he's not going to do it, I don't think. He's not quite close enough to be able to do it down the straight.
No, the Alenco Lamborghini actually came off the corner left, although he's got to run. Look.
I'll tell you what it is, there's the little kink onto that straight, and it seems to be exactly at that point. He has to back out, and once again we see another Aston Martin go past. They're braking for the chicane. So the Lamborghini seems to have a problem through that left kink.
Yeah, just getting the power down. It's got so much power, it doesn't know what to do with it. And the Aston just got the power down that little better. And Fred Makavicki is through as a result of that. Bearing down on them in the background is the Seiji Ara, the Japanese driver in another of the Nissans. That's one of the Swiss racing team Nissans. So that's the next car to put Dominic Schweger under pressure. What's happening up front, you may be wondering? Well, there's no change up front because the Maserati is still leading the race by a full 10 seconds. The number one car looking to be in total control of this race, with the number 24 Lamborghini of Peter Cox still in second and only 2.5 seconds ahead of the Corvette of Mike Hazelman, so there could be a battle there. Another 2.5 seconds back to Warren Hughes, so things could get tight again up in that battle for second place. There's some wide running going on there.
And that's the Nissan.
No, in fact, it's still battling with that Aston. He's got him back, or he's trying to get him back. Having got him...
Oh, it's a replay.
Oh, yeah,
there's a replay.
Yeah. Two of us not concentrating there. Too busy looking at other battles going on.
Exactly, but it's quite good with the Peter Cox, Hazelman, Warren Hughes fight that we've got, because they are all edging, bunching together. So that's going to make the last probably 11.5 minutes to go. That's going to be quite an interesting battle, because again, the Lamborghini, I think he's starting to struggle again.
Look, Grosjean, we were talking about him earlier, he has caught Alfred Hager ahead of him. It's taken him a while, but he's now there in position, and now we get a chance to see where he might find a way through.
This is that left kink where the... And you should have done that, was that he's flat through that, absolutely no problem. Yeah. That Lamborghini seems to have to back out, because obviously it's rear end, I'm guessing, because he's probably trying to step out.
Problem for Grosjean there is that the Maserati ahead of him was just as quick through there.
Very much so. Under braking, very nice, loose at the back, braking as much as he can. This is where the Maserati generally will probably accelerate very well out of this chicane.
He's braking from about 160 miles an hour. You know, you sort of think, well, a little bit of a wiggle, he'll sort that out. But he's doing 160 miles an hour and that thing's sort of weaving around.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Ben. It's only about 1,300 kilos worth.
Yeah, no problem. A bit wide out of scene. Brake lights flashing on, and Grosjean was definitely on the attack. Getting a bit of a reputation as an overtaker, so I guess, you know, when you're the guy in front, Alfred Hager, you know, a little bit older in years, more experienced, retired from racing at one point, only to come back again. He's going to be feeling, well, this young whippersnapper behind me, I'm going to have to keep an eye on him.
It does make a difference. It's quite funny, you know, he's come into this GT1 racing sort of, you know, now, or this year, but he's made a big reputation about overtaking. As soon as you know he's there, it does make a difference. Psychologically, it's quite funny how it does make a difference. But he's a very experienced man, and I'm sure he will fight it tooth and nail.
Yeah, he's not going to let it through, and actually as they come across, not really any closer on this lap. These two cars look pretty evenly matched, the white and black Maserati, and then the dark blue and silver Ford of the Martech team with that little bit of flappy bodywork, still dancing away in the wind there.
Yeah, and he's not going to back off. Grosjean's not that type of driver to back off. He's just going to pressure. You always know someone's going to make a mistake, and if you just keep on being in the right place, you're going to get that opportunity to pass.
Looks like the body shop's going to be fairly busy after this. A few bits of fiberglass flapping around in the wind, but I don't think it's going to be too many problems.
Fiberglass? What's
Fiberglass, carbon fiber, whatever. Yeah, going back in a few years there.
Yeah.
It's just around the wheel trim, isn't it? Really, around the arch there.
Yeah, I'm guessing there may have been a bit of contact. I don't really know. So there's something actually underneath it as well, trailing along.
Getting that power down, he's still having to correct, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, I can see at the front, we haven't seen it yet, the battle with Peter Cox.
Could be a chance.
This could be a chance. He spacks it. This could be it.
He had a really sort of dodgy run through the chicane, back into the car, sliding around, but where does he go now?
Well, he's got to try and, yeah, there you go. You see, so trying to do a dummy, but again, trying to do into scene corner is very difficult.
Yeah.
You just got to keep on doing it. You know, we're going into the more technical part of the track. He knows he's there, and this is where he's got to keep the pressure on. Exactly.
Teammate, watching that?
Yeah, he's confident with his boy.
He is, actually, because they've had some great results.
Yes.
The only team to have won 2 of the championship races, of course, this year is that number 5 car. And so Thomas, I think, having full confidence in his teammate. It was a brand new driver pairing going into the year, but it's been very good now. Yeah,
that battle. This is Warren Hughes now.
The third place,
half a second behind that Corvette. He's sort of been edging closer and closer and closer. You can see fighting a bit of understeer with that car. You see the steering wheel doing a little bit more lock than normal, but obviously the rear end of that car is working very well at the moment. So again, same situation. Pressure, push. Just get yourself in the mirrors.
Interestingly, Warren has set fastest lap a few laps ago, but it was Jamie in this car who set fastest lap in the first part of the race. Warren has set fastest lap in this second part, and what's also impressive is that he's maintained the pace as the stint has continued, and he's chased down that Corvette of Mike Haseman. So you've really got a lovely tussle on our hands with 7 minutes remaining in this qualifying race for the FIA GT1 World Championship here at Paul Ricard. The fight for... and he's got past Grosjean's done it. Grosjean has got past Alfred Hager and into 7th.
Yeah, great move. Straight down the inside. Very clean. And he gave him room as well, which was nice. It was nice to be able to do that, because you don't want to get involved. And as you've said, you want to get involved with the next part of the session. And he's trying outside.
Trying to take 3rd place. Can he do it there? Round the outside at Scene Corner. Surely not. You can't overtake there, can you? He has. How did he do that?
He's done. Look at that.
It's incredible.
Wonderful.
What a manoeuvre by Warren Hughes. He's taken 3rd place around the outside of one of the fastest corners in motor racing. That was brilliant stuff. And he's taken the super-powered Nissan into 3rd, and Mike Haseman doesn't want it like it. He wants it back again.
He certainly does, yes. He's not giving up yet. Great move, because that, as you say, that is somewhere where you don't generally pass. You seem to have a little bit of extra speed as he went into it. He committed, and I think that commitment was what actually got him through.
Oh, a potential podium on target for the team that won the Tourist Trophy at Silverstone. And that was, well, he deserved it there with that kind of manoeuvre. Mike Haseman has tucked in behind him once again. But Warren Hughes has got the Nissan into third position. Across the line they go then. 5.5 minutes remaining. Out in front, the Maserati of Andrea Bertolini has a big lead. We're on board that Corvette again as it sees if Mike Hasemans can get the place back. But I'm not sure. That Nissan's been so quick in recent laps. I don't think he's going to have an opportunity. Let's just listen in to the Corvette for a moment. There, didn't he?
He does, yeah. And we did say Grosjean earlier on was one of the cars that didn't. So that duty call seems to be quite good packaged at the moment.
Race leader is the Maserati we mentioned, still in the 2 minutes 7, so it's still going pretty quickly as we follow through the chicane here.
Great noise.
It's a wonderful noise, isn't it? V8 really sort of rumbling and rattling. They had some engine problems at the start of the year, but I'll tell you what, that thing's working really well at the moment. And interesting looking at top speeds, the highest top speed by the Nissan at 254.7 kilometers per hour back on lap 23. So Nissan's obviously good straight line speed, but it's not just about straight line speed.
No, it's not, but I think as we saw when he passed that Corvette, you could see it was that straight line speed that did carry him through. It's not all about that, absolutely not. You've got to get all these slower corners as well, that time management at the same time. That's all down to the balance of the car. And they seem to have got quite a good balance because the consistency of that car has been very good.
But let's just take a moment to note the performance here of this Lamborghini, Johnny, because they have struggled a bit this year so far, and suddenly it's great to see that they've got all the Lamborghinis seem to be running well, but particularly the Ricard car there. We just saw a Peter Cox, very experienced of course. There's Warren Hughes in third place, across the line, but that Lamborghini going so much better. Best result so far this season, I think, was an 8th place finish in Abu Dhabi, so this is miles better from their point of view.
Well, it's funny how it changes, because we went in the garage, didn't we, yesterday, and they were scratching their heads in the morning, and then it all just suddenly clicked together. They found the right direction, and they've had their best, or going to have probably their best result thus far.
Yeah, so we've got Maserati, Lamborghini, then Nissan, then Corvette, and then another Maserati. So the manufacturers, the brands are well spread again amongst the front runners in this. Top Aston Martin a little further back down the order in 10th place. I think that's still Darren Turner. He's the top Aston Martin. Top Ford, as we know, is the Ford GT of Romain Grosjean, who's got up to 7th place recently, thanks to that move he put on Alfred Hager. But he's too far behind Andrea Piccini to make any further progress, I think. And Piccini's had a very quiet race. We haven't really seen him much in the number 13 Phoenix Run Corvette, but a 6th place finish will give him obviously a 3rd row starting position for the championship race tomorrow, and I think they'll be relatively happy with that. Useful opportunity to score points. But for me, that car, number 24 Lamborghini, has been one of the stars, brilliantly driven by Christopher Haas in the early stages to get into the lead, fend off the other guys for quite a few laps. Great pit stop by their crew. Peter Cox has then delivered with a stunning outlap and a couple of laps that really got him out in front, got him to be in front when the Nissan and the Corvette rejoined after their pit stop. So beautifully, I think, a tactically good race from them, well driven, and although they might not win, that 2nd place, I think, for the Lamborghini has been excellent. This will be the last lap then, as Andrea Bertolini crosses the line now with only a minute and 38 seconds to go, and it's a 2-minute 8 lap, so they'll be going on to their final lap, chased by the Lamborghini and of course by the Nissan. Gap back to the Nissan, well, just under 3 seconds between 2nd and 3rd, so I don't see that changing on this last lap.
No, not at the moment. I think I agree with you, Ben. I think Peter Cox, especially in this then, has done a fantastic job. So for the team, for the drivers, it's going to be a big sort of positive for them for tomorrow, because they were lost yesterday. It's all come together, and a great result for them.
Yeah, and the other Lamborghinis haven't shone quite so well. I think the Bouchou down in 16th place, Dominic Schwager's in 15th, but they've shown that they got pace. It's just for some reason they haven't sustained it throughout the race, so a bit of work for them still to be doing. By the way, Olivier Panis still running. He's in 18th place in the other Ford GT. Oliver Gavin is in 19th position. There is just looking at Michael Bartlett, sorry, on the pit wall as he gets ready to cheer his man home. And the number 1 car, Andrea Bertolini, just got the sort of final half of a lap to do, and he'll bring it home. And just looking at some of the other positions, well, just outside that podium slot, of course, will be the Corvette of Mike Hasemans and Xavier Marson, but couldn't withstand that fast-charging Nissan. There's the Lamborghini, definitely the Nissan still, I think, of those front runners, the quickest car at this point. But what matters is your track position when the checkered flag comes out. The clock counts to 0, and Andrea Bertolini's just got to finish off a few more corners here to come through and take a very important victory. It might not score so many points because, of course, in a qualifying race, it's 8 points on offer for the win, as opposed to 25 points on offer for winning the championship race. But what it does, victory here in the qualifying race will give them pole position. It's the number 1 Maserati of Andrea Bertolini and Michael Bartels who takes victory here at Paul Ricard. They've earned themselves 8 points and pole position for the championship race. A beautifully judged event, but what a superb second place for the Lamborghini number 24, and a solid third after a great drive by Warren Hughes and Jamie Campbell-Walter in the Nissan GTR. The Corvette of Hasemans and Marson finishes 4th. The other Vitaphone Maserati is 5th. We've got the number 13 Corvette of Andrea Piccini finishing in 6th place. But with a lot of action, particularly in the early stages, ultimately, this car, Johnny, just had them taped. The Maserati, wherever we go, is a very fast car.
Definitely so. And I think what was worrying for all the other competitors was what it did yesterday in qualifying. And I think today rather, but what they were worried about was its speed.
Yeah.
And he had it.
He had the speed. But the early stages, he had to fight his way past that Lamborghini, and that kept us entertained, didn't it, for quite a while there. Number 3 Nissan just coming through. That was the Carl Vendinger car, so they did get it back out despite that ripped front tyre that they had. And there are the 2 Al Inkle Lamborghinis finishing 15th and 16th. Showed good pace at certain times in the race, but it dropped away towards the end. And it's the Blancpain car that has come through in 2nd place. Peter Cox making up for the crash that he had at Brno, which put them out of the event. And he's come back and I think really made up for that here today.
Yeah, no, definitely so. And I think the Lamborghinis overall, they seem to have a little bit more of a, I would say, a tyre issue. I think Peter managed it very, very well, especially in that session. We saw it struggled a bit in the first one, but I think this Maserati here, as you said, Ben, it seems to work everywhere. Better in some places than others, but I think it's going to be very suited here.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough car to beat when it comes to the championship race, because they will be starting from pole. It's where they started this race from. Didn't get the lead in the first corner, but after that. So in fact, what we will end up, interestingly, is with the same front row in terms of the cars for the championship race that we had for this one, because the Lamborghini was up there on the front row, of course, for this one. And 3rd place, that'll be pretty much the same as well. Oh no, it's a different Nissan. Sorry, it's a Nissan up there, but it's a different one. We had the Michael Krum, Peter Tumbreck starting, Nissan starting 3rd, and it will be the Warren Hughes, Jamie Campbell-Walter car this time. And in fact, looking at that other Nissan, they were sort of one of the big losers of the race, because Michael Krum finished in 9th place.
Yeah, they sort of really struggled. It was quite funny in the first part of the race. The 22 seemed to have the big advantage over the 23 that just seemed to drop. Michael seemed to be able to hold that 9th, but that's 9th. That's a long way down. It's a difficult race tomorrow.
Definitely got some work to do from back there. They are carrying a bit more weight with some success ballast, so that might have just been the tiny difference. The 2 Vitaphone cars going around together. The other car there of Enrique Benoldi, the number 2 car, that finished in 5th place, so good solid result for them as well. And the whole team will be, I think, very, very happy with the product of today's endeavours here at Paul Ricard in the south of France in absolutely glorious weather conditions. An FIA championship back here for the first time in a long time. 1990 was the last Formula 1 Grand Prix, and well, after that, of course, the French Grand Prix moving off to Manicourt in particular. But good to see the FIA back here with the GT1 World Championship this weekend, and the cars just making their way back into pit lane, and hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up with some of these guys after their fairly hot work, I would say, inside these machines. Not a lot of airflow through there, I think they'll be fairly keen to clamber out and get those crash helmets off.
I think so. You know, the temperature probably rises to about, what, 55, maybe 60 degrees inside, so it's so hot.
Yeah, they've had a little mini sauna in there while this race has been going on. And there's the number 1 car then coming into its position, the victory spot at the end of the pit lane there, and the Lamborghini also coming in there from second position. The Nissan's already there of Warren Hughes, the number 22 car, and Sumo Pao I think will be absolutely delighted with that. Some senior people from Nismo, the sporting arm of Nissan, here this weekend, and I think they'll be well pleased to have seen a podium finish once again. And it's all about consistency at the different tracks. Some tracks certainly will favour one car above another, but this Maserati always fast, always a threat. Andrea Bertolini very satisfied with the work he's done.
I think rightly so. I think you know, they've achieved the ultimate goal, winning the race. I know they had a very good qualifying. Sometimes always very difficult to put it into race situations, but they did that quite easily. Lost the lead, yes, at the beginning, got it back, won easy.
Yep, no problem at all. So the guys making their way over for a quick interview before they head off up to the podium. There's Christopher Haas congratulating and being congratulated by Peter Cox. It was a real team effort, I'd say, and by the crew, because they obviously turned that car around very quickly. Warren Hughes there is also well chuffed with what he's achieved, and Jamie Campbell Walters down there with him. There's Jamie, and he's got a big smile on his face, because again that was a solid team effort from the two lads.
No, definitely so. They really got to grips with the car. They used the tyres absolutely perfect for them, and they got a great result for it, and they deserve it.
Okay, so let's get some reaction now. Andrea Bertolini is talking to Haley.
Congratulations, Andrea. How was the race for you?
It was good. Michael, he did a really good stint. The first part was not easy because the Lamborghini was in front, and you know the performance in the straight is quite strong of the Lamborghini. But like we said before, the tire degradation will be really important, and Michael, he did a really good overtaking, and it's like it's a double event in our garage, because it's a Germany in a football game and our race. We do Ola when the Germany did the second goal, and also when Michael overtake us. So now it's important we do a good race also tomorrow, because our story in this championship is extremely positive in Saturday race, but not enough in the championship race. So anyway, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's important we score point. But at the moment, thank you, Michael, because otherwise, if he stay behind of Lamborghini, we'll be in trouble for me for the second stint.
Michael, and you certainly had a great stint there. You look like you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, back again to the lucky Saturday, but I prefer to have the lucky Sunday tomorrow. No, but I think it's important to score this point. It was a crazy start situation again. Red, green. So I lost the start because of this confusion. But after I tried to stay patient, to wait for my chance, because the Lamborghini was in the first 5 laps also competitive. But I think we did a great race today with no big mistakes. The crew did a very good pit stop. Andrea did his normal performance, and I think we have a good base for tomorrow. But I think tomorrow at 2 o'clock it will be much hotter, so the tire effect or the tire factor will play much more important than today in the evening. Now it's fresher, but for today we are very happy. And when I saw the 3-0 for Germany against Argentina on my board, in the same lap I passed Hase, so it was good.
Thank you, guys.
That's a great line, and well, what a good day it is for Michael Bartels then. That's all coming together nicely for him, because they certainly judged it well. At one point we had that big slide, if you remember, Johnny, when he was lining the Lamborghini up one of the laps before he actually got past. I thought for one moment that car was heading for the barrier, but he saved it well and came back for it. But for us, in a way, the stars of the show, because it was less expected, the performance of the Reiter Lamborghini. And we can go and talk to one of the drivers. That's Peter Cox.
Peter, there certainly was a great performance to get rid of Bruno that time.
Yeah, it was perfect. I think Christopher drove really well. He set up the second place for us. Really, he fought really hard with Bartels, and he held them off well. And that actually made our race, I think. And then I just had to consolidate, and drive the car home. And I think you can see the Ricard engineering guys did a fantastic job with the Lambo, and we are very happy. Yes.
And great to be on the podium, Christopher.
Sure, it's so great. It's unbelievable. I think the team, and Peter and me, we are really delighted about this result. And yeah, the team did a great job, and yeah, I'm really happy.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, well, rightly so. They should be happy, because that was a sterling performance from those two in the Lamborghini, and it's great to see the Lamborghini really finding some form here at Paul Ricard this weekend and showing that it is going to be a major threat of the 6 brands that are involved in FIA GT1 World Championship. Lamborghini right up there. So Warren Hughes and Jamie Campbell-Walter, of course, finished in 3rd place. So let's go back downstairs and get some more reaction.
Congratulations, Jamie. This Nissan certainly has had consistent times this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, maybe our one-lap pace isn't the best, but we've worked really hard since the last race with our testing and here this weekend so far to make sure that the rear tyres on the car stay consistent throughout the race, and it's paid dividends today. So we're really pleased, and you know, 3rd place is a good few points and a good starting position for tomorrow.
And Warren, we didn't know whether you're going to be able to take the Corvette, but you certainly did, and here you are on the podium.
Yeah. I actually switched the master switch off in the pit stop, so I made a mistake and lost some time in the driver change. So I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. So it just give us more work to do, really. I think 2nd would have certainly been on the cards, but I'm very happy with 3rd. The team have worked fantastically this weekend. We've stayed calm when it was easy to chase lap times, and the cars got really good race pace. So I'm very optimistic for tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and fairly understated, because that was a lovely move that he put on the Corvette. That round the outside move at Scene, as you say, it was you know, having speed in the straight line was important, but nonetheless it was impressive. So the results of that qualifying race: the Maserati on top by 5.5 seconds in the end from the Lamborghini and the Nissan. Behind those guys, the Corvette finished a fighting 4th. Solid race from Mike Hazemans and Xavier Martin. Then the other Maserati, the Corvette, the Phoenix car of Andrea Piccini, then the Martech Ford of Grosjean, again gaining places against Alfred Hager. Then we saw Michael Krum, Peter Dunbreck and Darren Turner, Thomas Enger getting top 10, and that's actually what Thomas said to me was their aim going into this race. Makaviki's Aston in 11th place, and then the Nissan in 12th place of Seiji Ara and Max Nilsson. Further down the order, the other Reiter Lamborghini, 13th place, then Maserati in 14th place, the other Triple H car of Bobby and Longin, then Schwager and Pastorelli's Lamborghini, and then the Al Inkel car as well.